Hello, Hollywood Time viewers. Today we are honored to welcome Nashville, Tennessee-based interior designer DIY, which stands for Do It Yourself, expert, judge, and HGTV television host, Laruen Makk. Woo! Hey, Laruen, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you guys doing?
We're really good over here in sunny Southern California. You're in Nashville, huh?
I am in Nashville now, but I am a former Los Angeles resident. So, hey, Hollywood.
All right, very cool. How long did you live here?
20 long years. The best years of
Wow.
my life. Uh huh.
You're from Oklahoma City, right? Is that where you're
I'm
from?
born, that's correct. I'm born and raised in Oklahoma City, but I transferred to California, Cal State University, CSUN, hey, in early 2000s. So I've been a California resident for a long, long time.
What took you to Nashville now?
Well, I mean, I could tell you a lot of reasons, but I'll keep it short and simple. The pandemic.
Great
I
place
got,
to go.
yeah, I had a baby and the pandemic hit in the same week.
What?
Obviously, then I lost all my jobs too. So I lost my job, had a baby, and a pandemic hit all in the same week. And I was like, this is too much. I got to get out of here.
So I think you're going to write a book about that, right?
Yeah, I'm still talking to my therapist about it. So once I sort out my feelings,
Oh my goodness, that's a lot to swallow.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But I mean, I'm
Oh,
not alone in that. I think that everybody can understand that, like that year, even that particularly that week was really, in effect, traumatizing for everyone. So it's a collective trauma. It wasn't a personal situation.
well, God gave you a son to keep you busy, and I bet you he did, huh?
Yes, he did. Be
What
careful
is
what you ask for.
I mean, you hear about DIY projects and we think about our little daughters or granddaughters to do things, and you got a couple of boys. Well, I have three grandsons. So what is it that we do with grandsons to help us for the season that's here? We have,
Yeah.
of course, we just went to Halloween. Now we have
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. What projects are you working on right now?
So what am I not working on? When during that time, I also bought a house and I've been doing things to make it feel personal and custom to me. So there's a lot of projects going on around in this house. And my husband would probably say a lot of undone projects, but there are lots of steps, yeah, to every DIY project. So I was working on a lot of things for that, working on a lot of projects for HGTV and a lot of digital content. So it has been a very busy life here in this house. And luckily, I do have two boys too. So I get it. And thankfully, they really enjoyed the DIY process. So they've been really getting in and learning a lot of things. I'm actually having to quell them from touching all of my power tools. I'm like, don't touch that.
So
Yeah.
first off, how did you learn about power tools? I hear your mom's like your biggest influencer. Did your dad
Oh,
help you? Who helped you?
well, I'd like to say my father, but God bless him. That poor man. He's my father's not the fix it yourself. He's like the pay for it, so I don't have to do it myself. But my
Okay.
mom is exactly the opposite, and she just has like a really innate sense about how to do things, and she's always been really curious and interested. And I think I get a lot of that from her. She's really creative and artistic too. I mean, growing up in Oklahoma back in the early '80s, girl, like there weren't a lot of resources. So my mother, like, she sewed all of our clothes. She made all of our Halloween costumes. She made all of our home decor. She was just that person, and she was
Mhm.
really good at it too. She just had this way of like finishing everything to this, really tailored effect. And so I grew up, not knowing that we didn't have a lot of money because everything in our house was so opulent. It was so beautiful. It was so detailed and gorgeous. And so I get a lot of that from her. And she just continues to inspire me to this day.
Oh my goodness, that's like amazing. Because when I read about this, it's not like we hear the words luxury and DIY in the same sentence, and so now it's like it's amazing that you're doing this budget friendly approach. Let's talk about that. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So, when I think of DIY, you kind of hit the nail on the head a minute ago and you were like, oh, it's some kids' crafts, right? I think of DIY in like two versions, right? So it's like popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue, right? And then it's all the way on the other end where it's like build your own house, you know what I mean? Or knock it down a wall and frame everything, right? So there's like these two extremes of what I think DIY is at least stereotyped as, right?
Yeah.
I think I fall somewhere right in the middle where it's like approachable things that everyday people can do, right? But that add a sense of elegance and luxury to your home, that really customize something that takes it over the edge, that makes, your house really personalized. So for instance, I mean, everybody's space is different, right? And it's like taking something, right, and really customizing it to your particular space, to your nook, your area, your closet, your thing, right? Whatever that is, and makes it beautiful and sophisticated, that takes it up a notch. So a lot of some of my projects, if you follow me on social media, could be something as simple as like finding a marble like cheese board at the thrift store, and then finding a brass gadget and gizmo aplenty. I don't even know what they are really. Just these pieces of things that have elegance and texture and niceness to it, and gluing them together and making them something completely new. And that's a DIY project. Or even I found this really cool vessel at the thrift store that I just loved, and it was empty, and I turned it into a candle. So those are all DIY projects that anyone could do, but they really take it up a notch. They give you a sense of sophistication, and it's really bringing luxurious textures and ideas to everyday people.
Wow, that's something else. So someone like you and your mom doing what she has done, what was your first DIY project that you remember when you were
Ooh, well,
remember?
I'm famous in my family for one. I really when my parents got a divorce, we moved around a lot, and I really wanted my space to reflect me. And we really didn't have a lot of money when my parents got divorced, and so I spent all day one Saturday babysitting my next door neighbor's kids, and I got like $25. And I asked my mom, "Can you take me to the store? To take me to Home Depot?" And she was like, "Okay." And I went and bought a bucket of turquoise paint. And my mom was like, "What are you gonna do with that thing?" And I was like, "You just see." And she went to sleep that night, and I stayed up all night watching reruns of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 1, 2, and 3 on the Disney Channel. And I painted my entire room turquoise. It was so beautiful. My mom was like, "Wow, that's like really nice." So she actually took me out to the store and got me a nice sheet set to match it. So I think that's one of my first things, ever that I can recall as like the moment I did something myself, like all on my own. But gosh, there's nothing I haven't done, whether it's from complete renovations to just changing, the surface or the texture, or the way something looks like. So for instance, if it's like a regular mirror that you get from the store, I can turn it into something a little more opulent and ornate. Like there's just all these different tips and tricks that I love to do to really transform items.
Oh my God. I know, my friend just moved and she gave me a mirror, a long standing one, and it's
Yeah.
white. And I'm like, I gotta do something with that, because it's just, I gotta, like you said, I have to figure out how to make it my own, which
Yeah.
I love country music and Western and Nashville. So I'm gonna have to have me make it a Nashville mirror somehow.
Yes. Get inspired by Dolly, girl. That's where these nails came from.
All right. Isn't she amazing? She's on my list to interview. I want to interview her so bad.
I know, she is so wonderful. I had the joy and pleasure and honor to meet her once. I dressed up for Halloween on when I did a show for ABC, and she saw it and she invited me to a premiere of her show. And I don't remember much because I was having an out of body experience, because she is my one true love. But I know that I have this infamous picture of us that night where her boob was pushed against mine and she's looking at it like this. And I want that on my headstone.
I mean, I've met her as a fan, but I want to like interview her as, doing
Hey,
this. So she's just amazing. Oh,
it
everything she
is
touches.
amazing.
I'm telling you, rock and
It's
roll. She makes
it's
rock and roll all of
she
it.
has touched every element of music and culture and humans, and that's what I love the most about Dolly, is she is a real human's human. Like she just believes in being good to people and spreading joy, and like how can you hate that? you know
Yeah, and it's like the DIY herself. I mean, right? Everything that's
oh
all
yes,
about Dolly.
Dolly is the true customized queen.
Yes, she is.
uh,
Oh wow! So you have maybe been really busy at home, well, for fall designs or Thanksgiving. You're all ready for that?
Girl, it's insane. Yeah, I mean, am I ever ready for Thanksgiving? Are any of us ever ready for the holidays? No. I'm getting there. Yesterday I put up my Christmas tree and it's flocked. So I don't know why I didn't put two and two together, because flocked Christmas trees are a mess.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is going to be beautiful. I was so excited to get a new Christmas tree. And I usually do faux Christmas trees because I have bad allergies. And so I got this new faux Christmas tree. I couldn't wait to get it out of the box, and I started unpacking it. And my kids were running around, so there was like flocking all over the house, and I stuck to my socks, stuck in my hair, stuck in my clothes, and I was like, why did I do this? I was so upset, and I kept thinking, this flocking's gonna fly in my eye. I'm gonna get a corneal abrasion. I won't be able to see for Christmas. Like, it's bad. So, you know, there is this thing in me that always wants to do everything myself, and I am learning to like delegate now, because you just can't do it all.
I know you can do it all. Come on, girl. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, you're right. I have to sell that to folks, but I will tell you this. Listen, one thing I have learned over the years is it don't say X on my business card, right? So whether it's painting, whether it's electricity, I say there's a thin line between do it yourself and screw it yourself, right? So you have to know your limitations. These days, I'm not painting walls anymore. I'm not doing any, installing of floors or tile or any of that other stuff. That just is outside of what I can do these days,
Well, good for you. I mean, you just tell them like, this is what needs to go, and that's where it goes. And thank you so much. Call me when it's done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I do take so much pride in the things that I do put together, that I am able to read. I really want to say, I know I'm an interior designer by trade, but I really feel like I'm an interior redesigner. Like, I take common everyday things and redesign them in a way that makes it customized to people. And I feel like that, to me, is the real juice and the sauce of what I do. Think about Lipton onion soup, right? You think that they get a package of onion soup? No one's eating onion soup, right? You use that to add the flavoring to the thing that you're making, right? I'm thinking of that because it's Thanksgiving and I've been using
good for you.
onion soup, right?
Good plug.
Right. So it's just one of those things that, like, I consider most of the things that I buy in the store to be, the onion soup. And I add the sauce, I add the extra flavoring, I add the other stuff to it, and it's just building on that. So, yeah, I'm a tailor, an interior tailor.
Well, she's got all kinds of brands. I'm gonna get all those t-shirts going.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about, I saw an episode that you did about barn doors. I love barn doors. So how easy or hard are those to install?
Well, they're a cinch. That barn door, you can do it in less than an hour, really, if you have the right, time. Barn doors are super easy. They're space efficient. They add a lot of character and style to your home, and they don't always have to be like barn. I think when you hear the term barn, you think of it as like something from, an actual red barn, right, with that X on it. No, barn doors are now, obviously it's on that one track at the top, but they have so many modern versions with glass inserts and all kinds of stuff. So, but it's a real great space saving way to add some character into your space, or even to hide or separate spaces. So, yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
It was great.
We just built a pantry and it's open now. They're thinking about putting a door. I said, no, we got to do one of those barn doors, or because that's what everyone calls it. But I said, I want one that has like glass though, so that's kind of frosted, so maybe it says pantry.
Yeah. Shout out to Masonite. Shout out to Masonite. You can buy those in kits online, and I think they're actually having a Black Friday sale this Friday, so you better hop on it, girl.
It's called Masonite.
Masonite barn doors. That's right.
All right, good. Thanks for that, because maybe I'll ask for that for Christmas early.
Yes, you better. And you know what? They're really affordable too. Like, that's one thing. That's another thing that I love about my job, is that I get to really educate people. I come from a long line of DIYers, but really professionally, they were teachers. And being Black from the South, being a teacher was a very prestigious job, because the generation before them were housekeepers. And so I find it really unique that what I do for a living is both educate and teach people how to keep and create the house of their dreams. So it's kind of this really unique blending of what I do for a living, and teaching people through whether it's a DIY or a new product that's on the market, is so important to me. It's so valuable. That's my purpose on earth, is to really share that talent and gift.
Have you written any books?
Not yet, but I am working on. Well, it's tough because it's like I feel like Michelle Obama. I'm becoming right. So there's been so many things that have happened to me in the last few years, but I'm like, am I even ready to write a book? There's other things I'm still not in that place where I feel like I know it enough to tell it all. But there's so many things in my life that have happened that I do want to share with my audience and with folks, like losing 140 pounds and discussing my addiction to food, or more recently I quit drinking during the pandemic, and that has been a huge change for me in my life. Just
Oh,
just letting go of that friend. I'm sorry.
yeah. I said congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that was one of the hardest relationships I've ever had to break up from. So I am definitely, still in that. But it's a story that I love to tell because I know that there's other people just like me, other moms out here who have gotten kind of wrapped up in wine culture, and
Yeah.
and then now want to see the light towards the end. And so it's like one of my favorite things to share with folks because I get such a response from it. So I gotta write. Maybe there's a chapter one, a
Yeah. See?
first edition. Would
Well, I
you read
wanted,
it?
I know. So, is it just that, because having a glass of wine once in a while or taking a few drinks, is that something that you won't want to have in your life now?
Right now it doesn't fit with who and where I am right now.
Great.
I come from a long line of party folks. I mean, I have a family who is loud and joyful, and for us, getting together was having a couple glasses of wine and entertaining each other with fun stories, and so it's never been a problem for anyone else in my family, and certainly um, it hadn't gotten to that point for me. But I will say this, my relationship with it had changed, certainly during the pandemic, where I used to drink because it was the fun thing to do. I was the party girl, I was the life of the party. And then during the pandemic I recognized that I was drinking alone, and to feel better,
Oh,
and the meaning behind it changed. And it was getting, it was okay to drink at 8 o'clock in the morning as long as you were on a Zoom with your girlfriend. It's okay to have a glass of whatever morning beverage that is, champagne or wine or whatever. And then I just found myself like crying in the shower, sobbing, and drinking Jack Daniels at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I thought, this ain't that anymore. So
good for you.
it was like I had this divine intervention. Seriously, I was frustrated, like I think a lot of people were, wondering what the next step was, like, really asking the universe, God, whatever your higher power is, what to do next. And I just heard this voice say to me, like, how do you expect me to help you if you can't help yourself? Like, if you're too numb to hear it or to see it or to witness it. So I am not heavily religious person. I am much more in tune with my higher power now based on that experience.
Yeah.
Um, but I will just say that it has changed my life, and only for the better. And so I'm sharing this with you because a year and a half ago, didn't know anyone who was sober. And so I think I share it because I love it when people reach out to me as a point of just like, hey, what did you do? How did you do it?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what one person did I know who didn't have a cocktail probably with me. And now I have a lot of friends and I have fun sober, which I never thought would happen. So
Yeah.
that
I
has
love being that way too.
you too.
Oh
You
yeah,
too.
I don't drink. Yeah,
Oh, good.
I love to party and I like to remember what I do. And
That
so
you know what? That is the best part for me.
yeah.
The remembering. Like, I
Yeah.
thought everybody didn't remember. I thought everybody woke up with hangovers. I thought everybody did that. It's so funny now because I remember everything, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
what a cool life.
You want me to get on the bar and dance? I'll get up on the bar and dance and I have no problem. I don't have to have a beer to do it or booze or something.
Oh, I can't believe I ever thought I did, but I'm learning a new life,
Good
and
for you.
I'm really grateful for it. I really am.
I wanted to talk to you about your weight loss. Most of
Yeah.
us women and men, we struggle with it. What helped you with
So
losing?
I actually had a gastric bypass in 2001.
Okay.
And I have always been overweight. I've always had a relationship with food that was probably unhealthy. And I had a lot of unhealthy habits. And I fluctuated from, I mean, the earliest picture I can remember of seeing of myself was, my belly was hanging over my diaper. And so, um, when I had fluctuated and gone through everything, Jenny Craig and, all the Weight Watchers and all that stuff in high school, and had been able to maintain it for the early parts of high school. But then during my parents' divorce, I think that I turned to food as a coping mechanism, quite like I turned to alcohol as a coping mechanism during those times. And so, um, I had a gastric bypass in 2001 and lost over 140 pounds. And, but that wasn't it. I thought that a surgery would be the quick fix for me. And it wasn't. It just really wasn't. I mean, I've still had to invest more time in my dependency on food and why I was turning to it. And so that's also part of the reason what helped me to really be able to get rid of alcohol quickly, because I recognized a similar pattern there. And so I've been working really hard for the last few years on just trying to identify feelings. And I think that, like, for me, gosh, are we getting too deep? Is
Oh,
this too much?
I love it. Keep
Okay.
coming.
Okay. I think for me, having feelings was tough. And I mean, feelings can be both wonderful when they're really great, and they can be really shitty when they're not so great. And I think I was escaping from loneliness and from isolation, kind of. I was like this only Black girl in Oklahoma, and let's just face it, I was the only one in most of my classes. No one ever looked like me, so I felt alone and different. And so food didn't make me feel that way. And so yeah, and certainly when my parents' divorce happened, it was just another catalyst for having a lot of really overwhelming feelings that I wasn't comfortable processing. And so yeah, I think that now that I've had some clarity and some purity. I don't know about purity. I still drink my Diet Dr. Pepper, but so I'm not under the influence. I'm about to say that. I'm just getting in touch with feelings, and I'm recognizing that they're not so awful to feel, and I don't need to turn to other things to process them. But that took a lot of emotional maturity that I don't think that most of us. I would say, when I say emotional maturity, it doesn't mean that like I'm out here acting a fool. I just mean like getting in touch with my emotions and understanding what they are so that I can feel them and get through with it. And I think that's the maturity of it all, So that's what I've been working on. That's why the book ain't ready.
Well, you have all your notes, so just keep your notes in some kind of
I got
folder.
listen, at this age, now I've got about $30,000 worth of therapy. I could have easily hired somebody just to cliff notes those and help somebody else out with it, But
I'll be the one who does your book for you.
Okay, yes, I will take your number.
Well, I appreciate you sharing about the weight loss. A lot of us, I would say, speak for me and a lot of our friends, gained weight during the pandemic because our life came to a halt, and we all went through our emotions too, and food was there, and we had to go scramble for it, and we bought more than we should have had because we were afraid it wasn't going to be there. So I gained about maybe 10 or 15 pounds, and I feel it, and I said I want this off, and it's been a struggle for me to try to figure out I know how to do it, but it's been hard to focus.
Oh yeah. And listen, I want to just say this too. I lost 140 pounds. I found 70 of them back. So I have recently re-lost that 70 pounds because of the alcohol. I realized that I was taking in so many calories and alcohol, and then probably binge eating, some BS. So I've been really thoughtful about, what I put in my body. I think that's just part of the maturity now. I mean, I'm 40 years old, right? So at this age, I can't just smash a bunch of Taco Bell at 2 a.m. I have to be a little bit more thoughtful about what I'm ingesting. But that's also, I'm a little more thoughtful with everything in my life. I'm more thoughtful with the news that I watch and the things that I read or scroll through on my feed, on my social media feeds. I'm just more thoughtful about what I take in my environment. My environment is my body. That's people I hang out with. That's music I listen to. It goes on and on and on. I'm just more thoughtful, courteous to myself about how I treat myself.
Well, thanks for all that. Let's talk about what you're doing right now. What are you working on?
Well, besides surviving the holidays, it has an extra layer of something to it when you're a creator, So definitely pumping out the content for my followers, because I really do. I've recognized too. I thought that my talents were, everybody had what I do. I thought that this was everybody's thing, and just because I grew up around it and was kind of desensitized to it. But I'm realizing how much of a gift I need to share with everyone, and teaching folks. So I'm trying to crank out that content. But beyond that, the new year's promising. I've got some really exciting projects I'm working on with HGTV, and I'm working on some of my own exciting digital content. So, which is near and dear to my heart, and I just cannot wait to talk to you about it. I hope you'll have me back so I can share everybody.
You better come back. We want to talk about it right here, Hollywood Times.
Yes, I would love to. And it's a pet project that I'm personally funding because I truly believe in it, and very excited about that. So lots and lots and lots of more DIYs to come.
Awesome. So what are your social medias?
Certainly. So please, everyone who's watching, please follow me at Laruen Makk. It's LAURENMAKK, 2 Ks.
Okay.
And all of my social handles. So, and I've got lots of really fun ideas, and I really try to make every one of my DIYs or hacks budget friendly. I just did one yesterday, $1 makeover for your curtains. You are going to want to check it out, girl. What? On Instagram and TikTok. I'm still working on, and Facebook. I think it's on Facebook too. Yeah. But yes, I love to just teach people like these quick and easy little hacks to just make their space so much more effective. And so that one is actually going viral now. I cannot believe it. It's my first viral video. Oh my goodness.
Really? I'm gonna tell my daughter-in-law, because she's stay-at-home mom. She's bored all the time. I'm gonna have to hook her up with you so she can start.
Tell her, come on, girl. Yes,
and then
in the new year, I'm running a new, a really, really, really exciting opportunity that I want that all of the followers can get in on. So they'll definitely want to follow me so they can get in on this exciting new project I'm working on.
So what did you ask Santa for this year?
Furniture. Listen, I want furniture because I told you we've been doing little projects around this house, and I just cannot decide on anything. I have finally picked out a couch, the third one I've purchased, that I think this one's the one, and I want my husband to buy it for me, but who knows, girl? He's gonna be like, he's gonna say, you're getting all this light.
Oh my gosh. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to liven us up this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Please get in touch with us so we could find out all the scoop.
Yes, I would love to come back, and thank you, and thank everyone who's watching. I really appreciate your time today.
We appreciate you too.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.